Okay, we're going to switch gears now. Now we're into Chapter 10, and we're going to look at depreciation methods, and I created this little cheat sheet to help you somewhat, and we'll see how well it helps. Depreciation is taking a fixed asset, which is a long-term asset, and expensing it over years, not all at once. So instead of writing off $24,000 for the cost of a car or a truck initially, we're going to spread that out over years or its useful life. So what you're going to end up with is you're going to have an initial cost, you're going to have an estimated residual value or salvage value, and you're going to have an expected useful life. You're going to have, when you get all done with all these calculations, something called book value or cost. So let's kind of walk through there. There are three ways that we're going to look at when it comes to depreciation. One is straight line, which is what most people use. Two is double declining. And three is units of production. Whoops, over here. So let's start with the easiest first. Straight line depreciation is literally the cost, which is $24,000, minus the salvage or the residual. And you're going to hear those terms interchangeably, so I'm going to use them that way. Gives me the depreciation base. Oh, I missed a zero. Sorry about that, guys. Gives me a depreciation base of $20,000. The rate of depreciation is for 5 years, okay? And that can be looked at one of two ways. I can divide that into the 1/5. I can well, that's not very nice, is it? Let's just do a number here and see what I come up with. That's not what I want. Let's try this again. Bang, 1/5. There. So it's 1 out of 5 years. I can divide 20,000 by 5 and come up with that, or I can make this a percent and multiply it times the 20,000 and come up with the depreciation expense. So that 1/5 is what in a percentage? I think that's 20%. So either way will work, whichever way your mind works. Your depreciation for each year on that $20,000 is going to be $5,000, right? And the journal entry for the, well, $4,000. New math. $4,000. And the entry for that is depreciation expense, $4,000, and accumulated depreciation, $4,000. And this is where the book value comes into play at. Right now, that asset is on the balance sheet as $24,000. But now it has accumulated depreciation that sits underneath of it of $4,000. So the book value, the true book value that shows for that equipment is $20,000. And that becomes really important when you sell that item. You will use those amounts to figure out a gain or a loss. So keep that in mind. So that is straight line depreciation. You've got cost minus salvage or the residual value gives you the base divided by 5 or multiplied by 20%. Gives you the depreciation rate for the year. So that's one. We have double declining. Now, double declining is similar to straight line, only the thought is if I buy this item, I'm going to use it more to begin with when it's new and good current technology rather than at the end of its life. So this gets handled a little bit differently. Number one, the cost is $24,000. But in double declining, we double the straight line. So my depreciation rate becomes 40% instead of 20%. And I do not take the salvage or the residual into account at this time. So I'm going to take 24,000 times 40%, and that makes my first year depreciation $9,600. Now, for the next year, we do something different, of course, $9,000, and we're going to subtract that $9,600 to come up with a new base. And that is going to be $14,400, and we multiply that times the 40% then. That's why they call it double declining. Now, year 2, depreciation is $57.60. So now, in year 3, this is year 1, this is year 2, and this is year 3. In year 2, I'm going to take the 14,440 and subtract the 5760 to, let's see, is that going to work if I pull that down? Let's see. Come up with a new base. No, it's not going to work. Well, it would if I had the right number here. You guys like me mumbling around here? So I have a new base of 40%. And I multiply that times the 40% to come up with year 3 depreciation of $34.56. So you're always subtracting the previous years from the last base. You never depreciate under the salvage or the residual. If this becomes, once that becomes close to 4,000, then you can only depreciate up to that 4,000. So that is double declining. Now, your units of production, they're relatively easy. It is the initial cost, okay, minus the residual, divided by the units. So in this case, it's 24,000. Here's our cost. It's going to run for 20,000 hours, and here's the residual or the salvage. So it's 24,000 minus 4,000, which gives us 20,000, divided by 20,000, which means each unit is $1, and that is per hour. So for every hour they run this machine or this drive this car or equipment, whatever it is, it costs $1 in depreciation. So they ran it for 3,000 hours, and their depreciation cost is $3,000. And again, that just keeps going down for each year. You just keep doing that for each year. Next year it could be 2,500 hours. A year after that could be 5,000 hours. So that kind of explains the depreciation methods. Now we're going to do some of those. So hang in there.